Hello everybody, this is Davo from Archon Esports, bringing you a Strarcraft 2 1v1v1v1 cast today. Oh yes, submitted by Bone Carlos, who is talking in the chat right now, just saying, hey, how's it going? You know, how is everyone? What's going on? One thing about Mr. Bone Carlos is, he is actually a caster as well, and I like his work quite a lot. He's very active on the subreddit Cast It, and all round a good guy. The uploader of this game, all freaking good. I did actually request a game with more than 2 people in it, because I've done one before and I found it awesomely hilarious, is a way that I would describe my experience of my last game that I cast. It was a more than 2 people game. It was actually a 4v4. It was hilarious, and I hope to replicate that experience again. Excellent. So as I say, big shout out to him. The link to his channel is in the description of the video, so thanks a lot again to Mr. Carlos for that. Very nicely done, sir. Not too bad. So, let's just introduce our players, and then we will have a look at the map. Of course, Bone Carlos is cannon rushing because he's playing Zerg, and that's what Zergs do all the time. They love to get their forge and then put down some photon cannons. That is possibly the favourite thing. Either that, or they can just make loads and loads of Zerglings and just run to their opponent's base pretty dang early on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and guess that Bone Carlos is playing random here, as he did say he was cannon rushing, and Paynor goes, who are you cannon rushing? So there we go. Right, I will introduce the players as we go along, actually. Let's do it like that instead, because there is action already happening. I'm sorry that is a break from my usual format, but you know what? Screw it. This isn't the usual format anyway. Bone Carlos is going to be running into Paynor's base, and basically trying to do all sorts of nasty shenanigans involving Zerglings and SCVs. Paynor pulling 5 SCVs off the line, but I don't think it'll be enough, especially seeing as Zerglings are actually combat units and SCVs are not. And it does look like this is the end of the game for Paynor. 3 minutes and 26 seconds in. So, unfortunately for him, I can't see a way out of this one right now. The command center being lifted up right now, and it is going to go and travel somewhere, probably. I mean, that's it really. Paynor is out of the game. So, let's just say Paynor is out of the game. That's, you know, pretty conclusive. Tinkle's asking if anyone has seen the campaign yet. Anyone see the campaign yet? Anyone see the campaign? Tinkles is asking if anyone has seen the campaign yet. Which most people should have if they're playing StarCraft. But you know what? Some people may not have. Oh dear. So that brings us to our fluffiest player in this map, Tinkles. And I call him a fluffy player because the name Tinkles somehow reminds me of a cat. So it's Tinkles over here in the right hand side of the map, who is our Teal Terran. In the bottom of the map today we have Macadog, who's actually got a proxy hatchery up already and an expansion too, so it does look like he's going to be making a load of Zerglings. 1 miner on the extractor right there. Just got his 100 minerals, and he is going to be starting the metabolic boost upgrade, which of course increases the movement speed of Zerglings by a pretty damn substantial amount. Tinkles is going to be moving his newly created command center into the 3rd position here, while he is making another command center in his main as well. So he's playing a very, very economic game. A very economic game, actually. I mean, he's only got 1 marine, but he's got 3 command centers, sorry. So, you know what? Tinkles, he's a bit like Apple. He's playing a very economic game. That's a terrible joke. That's absolutely terrible. Anyway, so we do have Bone Carlos breaching the perimeter of Paynor's new base. Paynor cannot be happy about this. Bone Carlos has a constant scout here in the way of an overlord. And there we go. Once again, the game is over for Paynor. He lifts off. He's going to go and find pastures new. Hopefully somewhere where there aren't so many trees, so he can actually land and do something with the game. Meanwhile, we do have Macadog. I'm just going to call him Mad Dog because it rolls off the tongue better. I am one for doing this kind of... I'm sorry. We do see Mad Dog busting down these rocks right now, and he does want to get into Tinkle's base. It does look like the Planetary Fortress is going to be ending just in time, though, just to be able to defend from the Zergling push, which is, of course, very important indeed if you want to live. And, of course, that is what is going on currently. We do have an expansion coming down for Mr. Bone Carlos currently. Oh yeah, and the map. I forgot to actually talk about the map. The map is Shattered Temple. If you didn't get Strarcraft when it came out, or like, you know, in a year or so after it came out, you may not have actually heard about its predecessor, Lost Temple. Lost Temple was in the first Season 1 map pool, I believe. And it had high ground right here, so if you were Terran you could put tanks on the high ground and then blast away at your opponent's natural. That's why Blizzard removed it and replaced it with something called Shattered Temple, which is what we are looking at right about now. Mad Dog is going to be taking down these destructible rocks, making way for an expansion in the future. Meanwhile, Paynor is actually looking at expanding. Well, I say expanding, but kind of remaking his base, queuing up 5 SCVs, spending a lot of minerals, 250 minerals in the queue. But you know what, it doesn't really matter when you don't have a whole lot else to make. The SCV gets out and really bravely tries to kill off the Zergling, but I just don't think it will be enough somehow. Bone Carlos does have more Zerglings on the way just to take care of the threat of Paynor, even though it isn't particularly a threat at all. Meanwhile, we do have Mad Dog running around the map right now with a lot of Zerglings. He's looking really tempted to do something with them right here. We do have a rather undefended looking expansion from Tinkles, so it'll be interesting to kind of see what happens there. What happens there? Ooh. Bone Carlos not letting Paynor expand at all, or actually set his base down at all for that matter. And here we go, we do have some movement here from Mad Dog, and is he just going to go straight into the expansion of Tinkles and kill off a whole load of SCVs? It does actually look like he is, and he's got to get at least 6 SCV kills there, just running in, killing those guys, and pulling straight back out again. It's a pretty effective harassment tactic, really, especially as, I mean, there's virtually no way that he could do anything in this here situation, seeing as there's so many walls on the supply depots, there's missile turrets, you know, I mean, this is a pretty hard nut to crack for any aspiring Zerg player at this point in time, really. And we do have a layer up right now from Mad Dog as well. He's also researching Burrow, which is of course a very useful thing indeed. Tinkles is getting siege tanks out, and he does have siege tank on the way, and it is just finishing up. What are we gonna? There we go. That's better. And he's also got a fusion core. Wow, Mr. Fusion Core. So we are going to see battle cruisers from Tinkles. I mean, he has got double starport with tech labs on as well. He could, I mean, with the amount of mining that he's got, he could probably go. Oh my goodness, what is happening here? Zerglings flooding in and killing lots of SCVs off. Not a good day to be an SCV. I mean, wow, Mad Dog did lose quite a lot of Zerglings there, but I think it might have been worth it to put that dent in Tinkles' economy. But I mean, at the end of the day, he is actually still floating minerals, so it's not, you know, massively important, as Tinkles could just spend a whole lot of money and get loads and loads and loads of money very quickly, troops very quickly even. We have ground and armor upgrades for our Zerg player, level 2. Hooray. And we also have Infestors on the way. Uh-oh. Infestors, of course, are really dangerous. And here we go. We do have more Zergling action coming on down right now from Mad Dog. And are they going to be able to get this command center? Is Tinkles going to lift it off? He is. And he gets away. Meanwhile, Paynor is actually going to be in the middle of the map. There we go. He's in the middle of the map. Paynor sees all. Paynor sees all. That is just how it happens. Meanwhile, Mr. Carlos at the top is playing extremely economically indeed. Oh, goodness me. Getting a macro hatchery out, getting his 4th base on the gold expansion as well, which is, of course, pretty good. I mean, that's the optimum of expansions, and Paynor is going to be trying to make a break for the expansion down here in the bottom right-hand corner, but I don't think he quite realises I don't think he quite realises that Tinkles already has that expansion locked down. Unfortunately for Paynor, and we do have a Hive on the way for Mad Dog, so we are going to see tier 3 units, a Spire also going down, so I would bet my bottom dollar that we are going to see a lot of Broodlords coming out right now. I mean, Mad Dog definitely looking the most dangerous in this game at the moment. If we look at the units tab, Bone Carlos with 1 Baneling, 21 Zerglings. We do have Tinkles with 1 Battlecruiser, 8 Marines and 3 Siege Tanks. And, I mean, we have 10 Infestors. Whoa, a whole lot of Infested Terrans coming out right now for Mr. Mad Dog. And we also have Zerglings back here who are probably going to complement in a minute, you would hope. I mean, the Zerglings come in right now, and of course they are the Zerglings coming in from behind. And this could actually take down the Planetary Fortress, and this could be a bit of a disaster for Tinkles, seeing as he doesn't actually have a natural expansion either. I mean, he's gone from having 3 expansions into having no expansions very, very quickly indeed. We do see Mad Dog actually microing forward the Infested Terrans and actually spawning more as well. And it definitely looks like the Planetary Fortress is probably going to die. There we go. It does go down indeed. And this is a really bad news for Tinkles, because not only does he lose the Planetary Fortress, he loses the supply depots, he loses the missile turrets. You know, I mean, and I'm sure he's about to lose that refinery as well. Meanwhile, Paynor has actually got some respite. He has been able to repair his only command center in all of the craziness. So, obviously for Paynor, that's a worthwhile venture. We do have a drop from Tinkles in the base of Mad Dog right now, actually managing to get away. The Queen dead, which is actually a fairly massive blow to any Terran. To any Zerg economy. I mean, having your Queen dead is never a good thing, because you will miss out on injects, and of course, you want to be injecting all the time. It's just basically a rule of Zerg macro. Meanwhile, we do have Adrenal Glands on Zerve, which increases Zergling attack speed by 20%. We do have weapons and armor for Zerglings +3 on the way also. We have a Greater Spire on the way. I mean, wow! We also have over here in the top left-hand side, Bone Carlos with 119 Banelings on the way. Uh-oh. It looks like the silent the silent Avenger, Mr. Bone Carlos, seems to have a whole lot of Baneling here, and he is not afraid to use them. While everything is going down here, I mean, Banelings are being prepared up in the top left-hand corner, and that's a very impressive amount of Banelings indeed. This amount of Banelings these Zerglings will definitely want to avoid, and they are. Paynor being useful, saying that there are Zerglings in the middle, but I mean, he's just kind of flying over. Banelings, there's a big wave of them right now just coming across the map, and anything that touches those are just going to die instantly. I think Bone Carlos easily is the biggest threat on the map right now for any of them, any of the races. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We do have Zerglings taking advantage of their superior speed over the Banelings, and are just going to be running into the main base of Bone Carlos right here, and are just going to be taking down the layer. Are they going to be able to get the layer before the Banelings get there? I think they probably are not. Whoa! Bone Carlos manages to save his layer with 145 HP. Good for him. He did actually kill a lot of his opponent's Zerglings as well. Now, we do have Mad Dog getting quite a lot of Corruptors, and of course he's got a Great Aspire, and yes, we're going to see Broodlords, as I was about to say. I mean, so it looks like it's going to be a kind of a Broodlord Infestor sort of setup right now. I think this Battlecruiser here was doing some shenanigans down at the base here, because the hatchery is bleeding. But, you know, in free-for-all games especially, it's very hard to keep up with all the action that's going on at any given time. Tinkle's moving in here, trying to go into the bottom right-hand corner of the map right now, but these Marines do want to be careful. There's a lot of Infestor right there. There's a Laudo Infestor right there. They don't want to go charging in. It's like a perfectly fungalable amount of Marines right there, and there are a lot of medvacs on hand, but I just don't think it will be enough. Meanwhile, Paynor has managed to re-expand. Could he win the game? Could he win the game? That's the question. We do have the attack here, and oh my goodness, Mad Dog seemingly not paying attention or something, because the Infestor's just getting absolutely destroyed. I didn't see a fungal go down. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I really didn't see a fungal go down there, and Infestor's on full health die, and that is a massive blow for Mad Dog. It does actually look like Mad Dog might be out of the game fairly soon. With a few more blunders like that, he could be in big trouble indeed, especially if Tinkles and Bone Carlos go for him. Bone Carlos right now having the insane amount of banelings, 216 banelings. It's fair to say that I think he's capped off banelings. It's definitely what it looks like anyway. And Paynor has actually re-expanded. He's even built a refinery. Good for him. I'm not actually sure if Bone Carlos knows about this. No, he doesn't know about this. So, you know what? That's just going to be... That's fine. That's fine for now. We will see if Paynor gets any fighting force at any time soon. Oh dear. Bone Carlos is going to know about this fairly shortly, you would think. But here we go. We do have a lot of Broodlords coming in right now, and the Broodlords do want to be kind of careful about the Marines, but I mean, with fungal growths as well, the Marines just disappear under the might of the Broodlords, and it does actually look like Tinkles is going to be in huge trouble right now. And if I don't say so myself, this is going to be an end game between Bone Carlos and Mad Dog. And Bone Carlos is actually coming down right now into the map, and it just looks like he's going to come and wipe his opponent off the map. Uh-oh. This could be bad for Mad Dog. He needs to get fungal growths down on those... Oh, no! Fungal growths on those banelings would have been absolutely perfect. I mean, there we go. Just demonstrating how fungal growths can work on banelings very well indeed. Oh, absolute carnage happening down here. I'm sorry if you're getting mad frames on my video, but it does actually look like Bone Carlos is just going to wipe out Mad Dog's base in almost its entirety. Meanwhile, we do have Mad Dog running up there with what I can only presume is Zerglings at the moment. My main camera is situated on the Baneling attack happening in Mad Dog's base. Oh, did you like the dual screen? Did you? I liked it. There we go, and here it is, back here. Oh, wow. Technology. Anyway. And absolute carnage coming down in Bone Carlos's base as well at the moment. More Zerglings being joined by more Zerglings coming in from Bone Carlos, but he just lacks the upgrades that Mad Dog actually has right now. Mad Dog is on 3-3, Bone Carlos is on 1-1, and of course Mad Dog also has the speed upgrade as well, so there's really no competition as to who will win. We do have Paynor still okay over here in the left-hand side, which is pretty interesting. But, I mean, we do have Bone Carlos coming and reinforcing with a whole lot of Zerglings right now. That's more Zerglings than Mad Dog can actually deal with currently, so he is just going to have to run away and actually go and attack another one of Bone Carlos's bases. And this, all of a sudden, has got pretty even. I mean, Bone Carlos, with his 7,000 or so minerals, should be able to do whatever he likes. A big attack right here from Tinkles. Does look like it's going to take down the base, one of the bases of Mad Dog's. Almost, anyway. And, I mean, this is a bad time for Mad Dog, because if he loses this expansion, he's going to have not a lot left. Not a lot left at all. Meanwhile, Bone Carlos coming out right now with more banelings. More banelings on Zave. I'm sure they're just going to go straight into one of these hatcheries for Mad Dogs. Mad Dog? Mad Dog. Just one, not plural. There we go, the banelings there, just killing everything off in its entirety. And some of the banelings actually just going straight into the extractor as well. And here we go, we do have a push coming up from the top right here. And this could be the push that finishes Mad Dog off. It could be the push that finishes Mad Dog off. I mean, he won't have many mining drones left. He's not going to have much stuff left, really. And Bone Carlos saying that this is no fun. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm sorry. Meanwhile, we do have Hydralisks from Bone Carlos who do look like they're going to come and try and contain the Broodlord situation. And yes, they are. Mad Dog has left the game. You know who hasn't left the game yet? Paynor, so technically he's not even going to come last. Hey, amazing. He might come last on the score screen, but everyone score screen, but everyone knows that the score screen is just made up of voodoo and witchcraft anyway. And we do have another drop right here from Tinkles, just trying to finish off the Ale Mad Dog, and that is it. It is now heavily looking like it is a Tinkles versus Bone Carlos final, which isn't something that I would have thought would happen in the middle of the game. Not at all. But you know what? It's happening. And meanwhile, we do have Bone Carlos coming up here. Can Paynor defend against this with his 6 Marines? Can it happen? No, he can't. So, unfortunately, again, Paynor definitely looks like he might be, well, it might be game over for Paynor now. It might be time to kind of sit back and accept that maybe there's nothing else that he can do. And Paynor has left the game with no GG. Mad Dog also left the game with no GG. Let's just quickly note that. So, hey guys, this is Davo from Esports, and today it is a 1v1 Starcraft 2 cast, and we have a drop. We have a drop on its way right now to the base of Mr. Bone Carlos. That is what we have. Bone Carlos not actually got any banelings on the field currently. But this drop isn't very big. Not very big at all. Bone Carlos over here in the left has a fairly large army indeed. An Overlord just getting sniped there. Marines dropping, going to be taking out the Baneling nest. No problem for them at all. I mean, I don't really think Bone Carlos has to worry too much at this point in time. The game does actually just seem to be his currently. I don't know, these Marines could possibly pull something out of their hat here. I mean, if the Vikings maybe landed, then it might be a better fight for Tinkles, but you know what? I don't even think Bone Carlos even took the whole of his army to even come and deal with this. But it does look like Tinkles is going to be sitting here and taking down a lot of the overlords of Bone Carlos here, and that is kind of painful for him. I mean, I'm not actually sure if he's even going to get up to 162 supply again in this game. It definitely looks like the game is definitely in the ending phases, seeing as Tinkles has only 2 bases. One of them is getting incredibly low minerals. The other one has no minerals at all. He is moving into that 3rd expansion right now, but here we go. We have a lot of Zerglings coming in right now for Bone Carlos. Just coming in and doing an attack straight in the natural expansion of Tinkles, and it definitely looks like this could be the end times for Tinkles. We do have Ravens with Seeker missiles here. And of course, Seeker missiles are just glorious things. They are absolutely glorious things. The last team game I cast, there was a bit of an event with Seeker missiles, so, yeah, you want to go check it out. I believe it's called Epic 4v4 game or something like that. But here we go with the battle cruisers doing their thing. Of course, battle cruisers having a bonus against light. The mules called down to repair it, but unfortunately they do not get there in time, and it does look like Bone Carlos was able to successfully shoot down the battle cruiser right there of Tinkles. Meanwhile, we do have auto turrets just dropping absolutely everywhere for Tinkles right now, and they will be killing off a lot of his drones at his gold expansion. In fact, all of his drones, and now they're going after the hatchery as well. And these cannons, man, these cannons are dangerous. I mean, if they actually manage to focus down this hatchery, that could be pretty bad. I think they have the capability to. Lots of auto cannons going down here as well, but they are kind of getting completely wiped out by the Zerglings. It does look like this one Hydralisk might be able to, well, maybe not. It does look like, I mean, this offensive here from Tinkles is actually fairly nasty. It's not a bad one at all, but I'm still not convinced that it's going to be quite enough. I'm not actually convinced that these cannons are going to be able to take down this hatchery, but they do. So there we go. I mean, Bone Carlos again. Bone Carlos needs to get some queens out or something. I mean, that would be a very good idea. Get one round of injects on all of his hatcheries. Just press S and H, spawn as many Hydralisks as he can, and simply go and run his opponent over. Really, that would be the optimum thing to do right now, but of course, when playing, that is often easier said than done. And of course, more ravens on the way for Tinkles. He actually has managed to expand as well. But you know what? I don't know who is actually going to be able to pull forward in this game. That is what I want to know. That's what I want to know. I genuinely think the game more or less belongs to Bone Carlos currently. I mean, he has got 10 Mutalisks on the way. Mutalisks are going to be fairly devastating for Tinkles to deal with. I mean, if he does get a good Seeker Missile hit on it, maybe not so badly. But if he comes over and starts harassing, I mean, it could be kind of difficult to deal with, especially if Bone Carlos comes and harasses the third base. That could also be pretty difficult to deal with. Meanwhile, more auto turrets going down right here, getting jumped on by Zerglings. Mutalisk just finishing out right now. I'm sure that Tinkles has seen the Mutalisks finishing. And let's see where they go. It looks like these Mutalisks are on the way to go and do something straight away, while these ones are kind of just meandering. But you know what, that's fine. And here we go. If there's one Raven in here that can do a Seeker Missile, it could mean pretty bad things for those Mutalisks. Of course, the Mutalisks do actually make the Ravens lose some energy on spawning the auto turrets, which is something you don't actually see every day, auto turrets. So there you go. Bone Carlos having a little scout around, seeing what is going down right here, and it does look like he's going to find the fact that Tinkles has another base up here. It is a planetary fortress again. There are lots and lots of missile turrets going down from Tinkles right now. But I genuinely think Tinkles is doing a really fairly decent amount of damage just with those Ravens right now. Bone Carlos still, he's eating around it carefully like a hot pudding. Oh yes, because everyone knows that if you've got hot pudding, you eat the edges first. It's basically what happens. And it does look like maybe this planetary fortress will hold. Will it hold? Will it hold? It will hold. It will hold. There we go. Planetary fortress has held. Tinkles determined. Absolutely determined. Needs to send his workers back to work though. That's something that he could possibly benefit from doing. Bone Carlos not necessarily screwed though. 23 Mutalisks on the way. Very important to note that when you start saying that somebody could be screwed, if you look at the amount of Mutalisks they have, and it generally goes over the amount of, let's say, 50, then they're not screwed. Bone Carlos is not screwed, because he has so many Mutalisks that he could pretty much attack anything with them and win. Apart from maybe a load of Thors or Archons or something like that. But you know what, there aren't any Thors or Archons in this game anywhere. A rather large group of Marines actually over here. But it does look like the Mutalisks are just going to absolutely destroy these Marines. Oh my goodness, look at that. No Marines left, that's so many Mutalisks. And I would not be surprised if we saw a GG from Tinkles at any point. At any point coming up right now. I mean, I'd count how many, let's see, 24, 48, 53 Mutalisks on the map right now for Bone Carlos. And, I mean, Mutalist, oh no, are we going to see Seekers? Are we going to see Seeker Missiles? Oh no, it's happened again! Oh no! Bone Carlos! Oh no! All of the Mutalisks are gone! Oh, we're watching that again when the game finishes. And Bone Carlos has left the game. Oh no! Ooh! Oh wow, that's actually pretty similar to the last team game I cast. Where this one guy, he spent the whole game making Void Rays, and then he got wiped out in very similar circumstances, and then just left the game directly afterwards. Hilarious. But hey, let's go back and have a look at that, because that was freaking awesome. So awesome indeed. Let's just go back a few steps, and one more should do it. Here we go. So that's a lot of Mutalisks. Hang on, right. Let's get the army value up. There's the army value. Okay. Let's get Tinkles' camera up. Okay, so there's the problem. The Ravens are selected to go and deal with the problem. That's good problem solving there by Tinkles. Now let's see what happens next. In slow motion, in a different angle. Ooh, without bars. Oh! Oh, that's just horrible. Unbelievable. Can you believe that? That's terrible. Anyway, guys, sorry for Bone Carlos for losing this game. It was an epic, nearly 40-minute in Blizzard Seconds game. And thank you very much for uploading. It was so much fun. And that is the thing that games are meant to be, isn't it? Just a bit of fun. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to Bone Carlos for actually, you know, providing the game. If you didn't watch my cast I put out yesterday, please go and have a look at my website, which is www.archonesports.co.uk, and of course go and check out Bone Carlos's channel as well. I guarantee that you will like what you see. Anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day. Enjoy playing Starcraft, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.